Hi, how's everyone doing? Welcome back. I hope everyone is doing good. Welcome to a nail class today. So, we're gonna start off today, you guys, with the application and how I would usually do the application on a normal person or a human, a human being, I guess you would say. And I start off by spraying a little bit of alcohol on their nail beds and their hands just to kind of disinfect further. And then I go in with a disinfected cuticle pusher, which you really have to push back those cuticles. You have to. Okay. Next, I'm going to go in with this ball drill bit, which really helps me remove any skin left behind on that cuticle. So you just want to make sure you do this in about 3 to 4 RPMs. You want to be very, very, very gentle, you guys, with your client's nail bits. Once we are done with this, I'm gonna be going in with this fine sanding band. I always use fine sanding bands, you guys. I never use medium or never extra coarse or coarse, because of course that's gonna really damage the natural nail bit. So you want to make sure you go in with a fine sanding band, which you can find sanding bands anywhere, Amazon, eBay, pretty much anywhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it one more time onto my natural nail, and I'm just going to be removing the shine with about 3000 RPMs. Once again, I don't go further than that. So again, just removing the shine. You do not need to over file or anything, you guys. Just remove any shine, okay? After we're done with this, I'm just gonna dust off any nail particle, any little nail dust left behind, and then once again spray my alcohol and remove any excess of dust. So after that, you guys, of course, we're gonna go ahead and measure all of the nail tips, and then I'm gonna go ahead and apply them on the natural nail, exactly on the apex area. Okay, that's exactly where the apex is. That's where I always tell you about the apex, you guys. Okay, so next, of course, we are going to ask our client what size they want their tips, what size they want their nails to be. So in this case, I'm just gonna cut it, at about a medium length, I would say. And once I'm done with this, you guys, just cutting and prepping the nail and everything, I'm gonna go ahead and just make sure that those side walls are very, very, I would say, very straight. So for this, I'm just going to be taking a hand file just to make sure that that the nail's not like crooked or anything, just making sure that everything's really straight. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing with the hand file. And also the tip, you want to make sure that the tip is very well, I guess, very straight as well. So yeah, I'm just holding the tip with my pinky just so that I don't hurt the client. So again, just dusting off any nail particles, any dust, and again spraying my alcohol and removing any dust again with a lint-free wipe. So you want to make sure that there's no dust on your nail beds or anything, because we are about to apply our dehydrator and our primer. So I'm using these from Valentino. So the dehydrator, I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it onto the nail. There's no need to apply 2 to 3 coats. Just 1 coat will do. This is just to dehydrate your nail beds, because our nail beds produce natural oils and we don't want any oils whatsoever on our nail beds. So just make sure you apply that dehydrator. Next, of course, you want to apply your bond or your primer. This one is the one from Valentino, like I said, and this is an acid-free primer. So there is a lot of primers out there in the market, which you would have to kind of know each and every client's nail beds to see which one suits them better for their nail beds. But yeah, you guys, that's pretty much what I do to prep the nail. So here I'm just going to show you a little bit of like what I do to pick up the beads. I've shown you this before, but I really wanted to update you guys. It's pretty much the same thing. I tap once onto my monomer and then clean the side of it once, and then I pick up 3 well, I tap on the acrylic 3 times, and that's for you to grab a bigger bead. For a medium bead, I dip onto my monomer, I tap 2 times, and then tap 2 times onto my crystal clear acrylic, and that's how I pick up my medium bead. For a small bead, I make sure I dip into my monomer, and then I tap 3 times, and then I'm gonna go ahead and tap once onto my acrylic. And this is pretty much how I work. This is what's helped me out. You really want to make sure you manage to control your beads, because if you have no control over your beads, it's gonna start flowing everywhere. It's gonna flood your cuticles, and the acrylic is not meant to touch the skin. If it does touch the skin, you will have lifting. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you prep the nails correctly. It doesn't matter what you did. Or even if you applied 5 coats of primer, it's not gonna work because you're touching skin. So just make sure you kind of work and practice with the ratios of your monomer and your acrylic. That way you can really work with that, and I'm pretty sure that's gonna really help you out a lot whenever you're applying the acrylic. So I always do this, you guys. After I, prep the nails, applied my dehydrator, my primer, I go in with a super thin coat of crystal clear acrylic on the nails to kind of protect the primer that we have just applied, because a lot of clients like to touch their phones, like to scratch their heads, and once they do that, your primer is already contaminated and it's not gonna stick onto the acrylic. So this is just to protect my work, and I don't have to do that over again, So as you guys can see here, I'm going to start by applying a nude. I really want you guys to see what I do. As you guys saw here, I grabbed a pretty large bead, I would say, and place it right here on the apex. That's what I was telling you at the beginning. So I placed down the bead right there, you guys, and as you guys saw, it didn't go anywhere because I had my ratios right. It wasn't runny, it wasn't dry, it wasn't anything. It was just perfect for me to go ahead and apply it. So as you guys can see here, I start to bring it down the tip towards the tip of the nail using the belly of my brush, just making very long strokes and watching my sidewalls. Like I've told you all the time, all along my videos, I've always told you to watch the sidewalls. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing here. And I'm kind of teaching you like to do the 3-ball method, I would say. It doesn't precisely have to be three beads. I mean, if you need more, you can go ahead and apply more. But, this is just pretty much what you do. You know what I mean? You don't have to go with any rules or anything. If you notice that you do need another little bead here, another little bead over there, go ahead and do it. So as you guys can see here, I need a small little bead at the tip of the nail because the acrylic that I had just applied wasn't enough. So I went ahead and applied a small bead onto the tip of the nail, place it at the tip, and blend it upwards with the other bead that we had just applied. Okay, again, watching my sidewalls. This is gonna help out a lot whenever you come and file your nails. Okay, so that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing. And as far as brushes, you can use any brush you want, whatever brush you feel comfortable working with. I work with number 12s, number 14s, and 16s. I work perfect with all 3 of them. I love them. I like them. Since I do more longer length nails, I like to work with a 16. But if I do work with shorter nails, of course, I'm going to be using a number 12. So as you guys can see here, I'm going to be applying another bead. And this is going to be my cuticle bead, okay? So I place it down right there, you guys. I want you to see. I go back and kind of, I guess not saturate, but kind of humidify my brush a little bit so that I can mold my beads more. And just try and blend it down, okay? So that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing. Again, cleaning my sidewalls. Please make sure you clean your sidewalls. That's going to help out a lot. Trust me, you guys. And last but not least, you guys, the last bead is gonna be literally right on the cuticle. Okay, so the last one we had just applied was closer to the cuticle, but not exactly there. And this one has to be very small and very dry. So as you guys can see here, I'm removing any excess monomer on my little napkin here, and that's just gonna remove any monomer left on the brush, so that my bead is a lot I would say drier, so that I can really mold it onto that cuticle area. So this is pretty much what it's turning out to be like, you guys, and this is what I do. It's super easy. Like I said, I guess you just have to try and practice more with the ratios of the monomer and the beads, you know, so that you can actually know how to manage those beads and they don't flood everywhere, you know. Just practice on that, you guys. And this is what I always tell you guys, it should be looking very thin on the cuticle area, and then it goes up towards like a little pancita, like a little hill, and then it goes back down to really thin. So now I'm gonna be taking a file, a hand file, and I'm gonna be removing like in that little spot, you guys, we always have acrylic stuck onto the skin. So that's what I pretty much do first every single time. That's what you see me do in my videos where I've actually left the filing portion, but that's pretty much what I do. You can take any file. I would suggest it not be very coarse, because then you are gonna cut your client, so just make sure it's more on the finer side. Next, I'm gonna be taking my 5-in-1 pana drill bit, which really helps me get onto that cuticle area without having to worry that I'm gonna cut the client or myself, because it is safety and it won't cut you. So it is a really nice, it really helps you debulk that cuticle area and really seal that cuticle area. You want to make sure you seal that cuticle area, because then you are gonna have lifting, like I said. So please, please, please seal that cuticle area with your drill bit. So next, I just like to take it onto the sidewalls of my nails, just so that it is a very crisp, very, very straight, very, very coffin like. So yeah, I mean, if you really work with your acrylic, and like I said, you really follow that step where you clean the sidewalls with your brush when you're applying the acrylic, you are gonna have less filing to do. Okay, so here I'm just gonna go ahead and debulk the nail, just make sure that there's no lumps and bumps, just making sure that everything is very nice and smooth, very nice and crisp, that, you know, everything is just how it's supposed to be looking like. Okay, we don't want your nails to be looking very torta like, to be very thick. If you really look at it, like I said, your nails should be looking very thin on the cuticle area, going up a little pancita, and then going down really thin at the tip. So that's something very important you should be looking at whenever you're filing, and also whenever you're applying your acrylic. I can't express this enough, you guys. Your acrylic application has a lot to do with the way your nails be looking like at the end. Okay, so after this, you guys, I just take another file, which is a lot smoother, a lot finer, and I just take it one more time on those sidewalls, just making sure everything is nice and crisp. And this just, like, I mean, I just like to take it on the surface of the nail again, just so that I can remove any like harsh lines left behind from the 5-in-1 pana, which, I mean, you don't have to do this, but this is a step that I never skip, you guys. It's just something that I have to do, like I just have to. Do you see, like, I don't know if you can tell, you guys, but there's like these little lines there that you can really see. Those lines were left from from the drill bit that I had used previously. So I like to remove those using this type of hand file, which again, it's a very smooth hand file. I believe it's a 100 hand file, 100, 150, but I do use this one because I see that it's very smooth on both sides, and it just helps me kind of buff out the surface, if that makes sense. But yeah, once I'm done with that, you guys, I just take it one more time onto the tip of the nail and just making sure that tip is very, very, very straight, very crisp. You want to make sure that tip is very crisp. So once I'm done with this, you guys, I did go ahead and buff. I don't know why I didn't film that, but I did go ahead and buff with a orange block. And that's pretty much what I did, you guys. Just remove any dust, any particles. Went ahead one more time with my alcohol and my lint-free wipe and just removed any dust so that it's ready for gel application, in case you're going to be doing gel, in case you're going to be doing some type of, you know, design on top, or even for top coat. So this is pretty much what I do, you guys, on a daily. So this is what the nail looks like. I hope this made sense and this helps you. I will see you on the next one. Stay safe, God bless, and bye bye.